Welcome back to Kingdom Cast TV. I'm your host, Mighty Fuzz Young. This is my co-host, Anthony Graffio, and we have a great show for you guys. If you have not subscribed to YouTube, it's at Kingdom Cast TV on YouTube. We are now on Spotify, Kingdom Cast, separate words, TV. And we are on TikTok, Kingdom Cast TV. We are on Instagram, Kingdom Cast TV. Guys, this show is moving. Anthony, how was your weekend? What's going on, brother?
My weekend was great, man. It was splendid. I really enjoyed watching all of the things unfold. For a lot of the people that first called me schizophrenic and said I was reaching on all these things, now they're starting to come to the same conclusion that me and you have come to, that this whole entire thing is a psyop, that it was a giant loosh pit. Even like Charlie Kirk's funeral or memorial, whatever you want to call it, was very exposing to what the agenda is and how disingenuous everything actually was. It was more of a MAGA rally than anything. But there's a lot of things that have unfolded through all this. The first thing that I would like to pull up is Candace Owens. Last week, she received the video footage from the SD camera that was taken by one of the people that worked at Turning Point, that video where the guy goes and steps on the chair that Charlie Kirk was just shot on, and he steps on his blood to go and take the camera from behind Charlie Kirk, which would be the best footage that anybody will be able to see with the exit wound and how this bullet actually went through. So I'm going to pull up Candace here, what she was saying. And I'm not saying Candace Owen is the person that you should be listening to, because I believe she's an Asian as well. But it was very interesting, the fact that she said what she said in this video. So Candace Owens, she is the one that received the footage from this video. And this is what she said.
There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood. There's no blood from the back. There is no blood. So I think a lot of people were wondering whether or not that bullet pierced and went out the back. I think I vaguely even remember, and Skylar, you can maybe live look this up. Like, I thought the feds were saying they were looking for a bullet at some point, which is now very alarming to me. I don't understand that. How could they have been looking for a bullet? Because if I'm not seeing, and there isn't, I'm telling you, what happens in the front is not what happens in the back at all. If I'm not seeing any blood, what are we to take from that? The only thing that could make sense, if what they're saying is true and that person took the shot from the place that they're saying that individual took the shot from, it would suggest that it was inside of Charlie, right? And they would know that. The feds would have known that. So they would have communicated that they were never looking for a bullet. Because remember, one shot. So I'm very confused. I'm very confused, not by what I saw, but what I didn't see. Okay.
So Candace says that the bullet is nowhere to be found. We're told that this is a 30-06 bullet that Tyler Robinson shot from 150 yards away. It pierced Charlie's neck. And now the official narrative that we're getting from Andrew Colvett, who is basically one of the people that have taken over Turning Point with Erica, this is the official narrative that we're hearing now. Colvett said the doctor described Kirk's bone as so healthy and so impressive that he is like the man of steel. The bullet
Wow.
was eventually found lodged just beneath the skin. Even in death, Charlie managed to save the lives of those around him. Colvett wrote, remarkable, miraculous. So now they're saying that Charlie Kirk is Superman. They're saying that he's Superman, that his bone structure was so strong, he must have drank the best raw milk ever,
Yeah.
and that his bones stopped a 30-06 bullet that my friend from Alaska, shout out to Curtis Hembroff, who hunts moose, said that they shoot moose with a 30-06 bullet, and it leaves a gaping hole when it creates the exit wound. So, it was interesting, and I see a lot of anons, a lot of people in the movement now are catching on. This is something that I've already was saying, but when this picture was posted by Candace of Tyler at Dairy Queen, the poster behind him is a Superman poster. Okay. Trump, a couple months ago, posted a picture of himself as Superman.
Wow.
So now we have this narrative that Charlie Kirk is a superhuman and could stop a 30-06 bullet. Now, I'm going to show you guys an example of what a 30-06 bullet does to a watermelon, okay? So this is a soft neck tissue that Charlie got shot in. Now we're going to see what it does to a watermelon, okay? Um, it clearly is not
Well,
what we're being told
what
here.
can't tell what's watermelon and what's brain blood.
Right out the back,
Yeah.
completely unstopped, straight through.
Filled the whole frame.
You can see the bullet go straight through.
I didn't care.
The watermelon didn't know it was shot until there was already an exit wound.
Can't tell.
So that's what it does to a watermelon. So imagine what it would do to a human neck, a 30-06 bullet. That's the official narrative that we're being told here. We're being told that Charlie Kirk is superhuman. His bones are so strong that it stops a 30-06 bullet. So more and more people are seeing these things and they're like, whoa, what is going on here? You know, at first maybe this guy Graf was a schizophrenic, but now it's starting to look like he might be onto something. Candace
sure.
Owens is telling us that the camera that was taken, literally tampering with the evidence, taking the SD card out, seeing that footage that the American people, the world, need to see. We should be seeing all of this stuff. Stop the bullet. He stopped the bullet. This is impossible. This is an impossible thing. So my weekend is amazing to see that people are waking up to the psyop that has been ran on them. You know, we'll get into the funeral next, but this is the other thing that Candace said, that she said yesterday, that it's like she's just at this point just like doing the craziest mental gymnastics trying to explain what has happened here, because it just none of it makes sense, right? So she says,
Pipeline that was almost exactly behind where Charlie was sitting. Here's that maybe it's a water pipeline, I don't know, but there it is under the flag. And to your right, I went into my tips line and I saw that somebody had messaged me about this. More than one person messaged me about this. They're like, hey, yeah, there's like a whole underground thing there. To your right, you're observing those two little boxes. And they told me that that was a trap door. Now, I'm not implying someone, popped up and shot Charlie, but that's a close up of that area. I'm just implying that there's an entire underground there. And I remember when I looked at the footage, I felt like it was coming up. I don't know anything about ballistics. I'm not an expert, but if there was a hatch door nearby, then we can assume, as we should always assume with colleges, obviously stadiums, there's always an underground path. So I'm wondering if the federal government has explored the possibility that somebody could have been under Charlie and done that. While everyone's looking around and thinking that a shot went off from here, if that was just maybe like decoy number two, and actually Charlie was shot from beneath him, which then could maybe explain why there was no exit wound. Again, I'm theorizing because I have a right to. I have a right to think. And that is interesting to me. Where does it go? Where do the tunnels underneath the UVU lead to, right? That's an interesting question. Maybe everyone's looking up when we should be looking below.
as above, so below, right? So now instead of just maybe believing that, I mean, well, first off, there's a trap door under where Charlie was at. That's a little weird, right? Like, it's literally a trap door. He's sitting on top of a trap door. But to think that somebody would open the trap door and come up and shoot him and he wouldn't notice it is absolutely insane, in my opinion. You know, I think saying that it's a psyop that Charlie's involved in is a little bit more of a normal take than believing that somebody popped open a trap door and shot him from underneath. When he has his security there, he's sitting there, he would have noticed it right away, you know. So the mental gymnastics that people are playing now to try to figure out, where did this bullet come from? Why is there no exit wound? He's got bones of steel. He's being shot from a trap door underneath him. When he's getting carried out, there's no blood on his shoes. There's no blood anywhere. There's no blood trail. You got people saying that the surgeon, he was DOA, he was dead on arrival, but then the surgeon pulled a bullet out of him. Why would a surgeon pull a bullet out of a dead guy?
Right.
A coroner would do that in an autopsy. If he's DOA, it doesn't matter anymore. A surgeon wouldn't do surgery on a dead person. That's just like, hello, do you know anything about biology? It would be an autopsy that would do that. So things are getting weirder and weirder, and people are starting to smell what's rotten with this whole entire thing. And I'm happy to see it because we're smarter than this, guys. We deserve better psyops.
100%. Yeah, bro, I totally agree. I totally agree. We need better psyops, man. In one hand, everything that you've been saying, remember, man, me and you are on the same show, but we have very different points of view sometimes, but we agree on most. And the more and more the time goes, it's more convincing. I mean, I think people can start to see that there's not only questions on who did it, but now are we being played? And it's a very hard stance because then if you are correct, brother, then that means that the country has been fooled. There's been a psyop to get that energy, to get that luge, to get all that for some type of. Why do you think they would fool the people, brother?
Why would they fool the people? Well, first off, it's to get their loose, right? It's to get the emotionalism. It's to get, these people, they feed off of these things. We're going to get into the Charlie Kirk funeral now, where the stage is literally a giant cube of Saturn. It's like a giant cube that they're in. The day that this happened, there was an eclipse where Saturn was at its highest point. So 11 days after Charlie gets killed, 11 is a very powerful number in Masonry. They do this funeral. It's in the stage is in a giant cube, like the cube of Saturn, Saturnilla. And every single person in there is crying. They're worshiping, but they're worshiping people like Brandon Lake, these like giant, the music industry and the Christian side is the same way that the music industry is on the regular side.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's owned by the same people. It's ran by the same stuff. So if you think these people are these devout Christians that are making Christian rock songs and that they're these amazing Christians, you're wrong. These people are the same thing as you would say any other Jay-Z or any of these other people are. They're paid by the same people. They're produced by the same people. It's all the same thing. And this is why there's this like fake, and we'll get into like this fake revival that is happening. But it's a loose pit. Everybody's crying. Everybody's emotional. So my girl's mom, she was like, oh my God, I couldn't sleep. I was crying so much. I woke up with a headache. I watched the Charlie Kirk funeral. I was like, yeah, you got your energy drained completely. Like, that's what they feed off of that. These people are high level sorcerers. In the Talmud, they believe in this stuff. This is like it's not a secret, this is what they believe in. So the fact that everybody has fallen for the psyop and basically were a part of it, they got your energy. They fed off your energy. Now we'll get into the funeral and like why it's so decisive on what has happened. And it's because like they use this as a MAGA rally. They use this to push war against the left. They use this to push there was literally people there setting up booths for voter registration that says vote because Charlie said to vote. Like, they use this completely. This is a MAGA rally.
Right.
This wasn't no funeral. His parents are nowhere to be seen in the whole entire thing. His parents, his sister, don't say a word. You got people, J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller, basically the whole entire Trump administration is talking for this dead man, and his family's not saying anything. You don't see his family. You don't see Erica's family. You don't see any of their family. This is a giant MAGA rally. And I'm going to start pulling up some stuff from it because it's like your husband or your wife just dies, right? And this is the representation that you want to show of what happened. I mean, I'm sorry, that looks more like when Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out to go and Stone Cold Stunner The Rock than it does a funeral. Like, they got fireworks going off. Like, it's like, what is that, dude? That's WWE status right there. Like, you hear the glass breaking in the background. Like, this is WWE, bro. Like, what? Who's lighting fireworks off at a funeral. Your husband just died. Not just died regularly. He didn't die of cancer. He didn't die of natural causes. He got shot in front of the world in a gruesome way. And you're over here with sparklers going off?
Yeah,
Come
bro.
on.
Just watching the like how quick they are saying, oh, one of the Charlie's last conversations was, we got to clean up Chicago. Or last thing Charlie said was this, like all the things that this administration has been working towards. What a way to utilize this event, this psyop, to get people on board with it. And I'm seeing it happen, bro. I'm seeing people that for the last 4 years when Biden was in say that, oh, it's a two-party problem, the government, it's us, we the people versus the government, right? And now that they got their guys in, it's, maybe we have to give up the First Amendment for the sake of these people are killing our politicians. They killed Trump. I mean, they tried to shoot Trump. They killed Charlie. So they're falling back asleep. And we're now watching our neighbors now become like pro-government again. And historically, this country was not founded on that way. So it's we the people. The government works for the people, by the people, right? And this idea of this administration coming in to save you, you see it over and over again. And if you don't accept it, I said this in a video recently. I'm like, they will have riots in your cities. They will have events just like Charlie, where you'll go, oh, you didn't accept it? Well, now you're gonna. And we're gonna run the propaganda wheel, and you're gonna fall back asleep and follow what we're transitioning you, this solution to our desired goals.
For sure. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, I'm going to pull up Stephen Miller here, Mr. Stephen Miller.
Love this guy.
Nosferatu.
Defeat the dark. We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity. You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy. And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion. You cannot defeat us. You cannot slow us. You cannot stop us. You cannot deter us. We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization, to save the West, to save this republic.
A Jew, by the way, saying they're going to save the West. They're going to save the West.
Great video, man, because like right there it's perfect. It's perfect. Like people are buying this. Like the American people are falling for this again, we hear this republic, but everything that they're planning to do goes against our constitutional republic. It's just lack of knowledge. It's just lack of people understanding why we hold this government to that constitution. Anti-Semitism bills, EOs in general are unconstitutional, but anti-Semitism bills are unconstitutional. Pam Bondi going after free speech is unconstitutional. So him saying that And because nobody knows the Constitution, there's a room full of people at that stadium that don't know the Constitution that are falling for his rhetoric.
And he said something very specific that I think people kind of missed there. He said, "You don't know the dragon that you have woken up."
Biblical.
Well, the dragon is known as Satan in the Bible. You know, it's in Revelations, it says the dragon, which is Satan. So they're basically telling you, by the way, the guy is a Jew, telling you what's virtuous, what's good, and what will save the West. The Jews have ruined the West completely, and they're still coming after it every single day. So listening to Stephen Miller as your thought of judgment on what's to come, I would get out of Dodge quick, because he is just pushing this divisiveness. He's trying to stroke the flames of a civil war. He's telling you you've woken up a dragon, you've woken up Satan, you've brought him out of the pit. You got 300,000 people all in there falling for the rhetoric. All I see when I look at this, I just see good goyim following their marching orders, listening to Stephen Miller, listening to JD Vance, listening to Erica Kirk, and it's pathetic, honestly. And you know, it's truly sad that people fell for this. You know, you got people in there that are like, "Oh, I found the Lord in there, and it was so powerful." And like, all right, look at this. I mean, does this not give you like, this is a fake revival? This is like, so this guy comes in, he's got this cross that he's carrying, right? He's bearing the cross of Christ, right? Well, I don't think Christ, when he was walking with his thing, had wheels on the bottom of his cross. This guy is wheeling across through here, okay? This is just like, it's showmanship. You know, it's not truly biblical, the way that we're supposed to be moving in the Holy Spirit. You know, and I used to be one of these people that in church, my hands in the air, listening to the worship music. That's emotionalism. There's an emotional fake revival that is coming in America. When you're with the Holy Spirit, you are at peace. You are quiet. You are stoic. You know, this is why I started looking into orthodoxy and going to an Orthodox church, because I was done with being sold on this emotionalism. It's all just emotional, being at a concert. If your church has a fog machine and lasers in it, you're in the wrong place. If your church is telling you that you need to pray for Israel, that you need to tithe to Israel, you're in the wrong place. There is a movement that is happening in America that they will use a fake revival. I mean, today, we didn't even bring this up, but today it's supposedly on TikTok, it's the rapture.
Yeah. Wow, man, I wish we saw it over there.
People believe right now that they're going to be raptured. And this is why it's so important to actually know the Bible. This is so important to actually know the Holy Spirit, because there is this fake movement that is happening. And they're using this bubblegum, MAGA, right-wing, Zionist, Judeo-Christian movement to say, you know what? God is telling us right now that we need to go to war with the left. God is telling us right now that we need to get our free speech taken from us. God is telling us right now that we need to support Donald Trump going and bombing Iran and helping to create the Greater Israel Project, because God told us that Israel is God's chosen people. It's his chosen land. We need to pray for them. And if we don't pray for them, then we'll be cursed. This is what Charlie Kirk stood for his entire life. There's videos where Erica Kirk her eyes start twitching out like a reptilian, like losing her eyesight. And she says, it was insane. I saw Charlie, they didn't even know each other at the time, but I saw Charlie in the snake of the line in Israel. So they knew who each other were before, and they were in Israel together. This is a ploy. This is all set up. This is being put together so there could be a fake revival.
100%.
This fake biblical timeline of the end times, all of this stuff. People really think right now, I mean, there's videos of people all over TikTok saying, I quit my job, I did this because the rapture's happening. Put the fries in the bag, bro. You're still here.
Yeah. And
go to
there's
Walmart, check in.
There's another video of this Ethiopian guy coming on, and I don't know if you've seen it. That's where they're getting it from. There's an Ethiopian, either pastor, I don't quote me on that, where he's speaking about that he had visions of the rapture on the 23rd. And we got to think about it's a Jewish holiday, right?
Rosh Hashanah, yeah.
Rosh Hashanah.
You know,
the blood moons and stuff like that. So we got a lot going on. I have no doubt, just like on September 10th and what happened, they are aligning certain things. But we can be fooled in these moments, man. And because there's a right wing attachment to there's two things happening, guys. There's a right wing attachment to Christ, which has been what we've been ringing the alarm. I've been doing it for years. Brother Anthony's been doing it for years. That there is no connection of the state and Christ, right? Christ would not be for Republicans or Democrats. There's evil in both parties. So them trying to use Christ as a conductor to get you on board with the right wing is evil in my opinion. Two, that now they're going to use Christ for the solution to go, like what Anthony said, to go after the left. And you will be lockstep because they killed a political figure or killed a political figure. And this is how they get you. This is the game that's being played on us. And him bringing up the dragon, bro, great catch on that. I mean, Revelation speaks on this, and they keep doing it. Like, they keep showing their hand, brother.
Yeah, I mean, literally showing their hand. I'm going to pull up the video of Trump first coming onto the stage. Now, look, we're at a funeral. It's sad. People are sad. You know, you got the fireworks going off in the background. Everybody's lit up. It's you know, it's a funeral. We're crying. It's sad. We got the fireworks. And then, of course, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Lee Greenwood, fresh off of his trip from humping the wall in Israel, is at Charlie Kirk's funeral with the fireworks going off. I mean, Lee Greenwood has become the Frankie Valli of the MAGA movement. Let this guy rest. Let him like Frankie Valli's up there looking like an animatronic. Lee Greenwood, go away. Okay, you've ruined that song. That song is done for me. That and the YMCA, I never want to hear those songs again. But if I'm at my homie's funeral and he just got popped in front of me like the way that Charlie Kirk got popped, and I see Trump walking out with fireworks, like coming out, look like with Lee Greenwood, like it's a concert. What are we doing here? What is the message that we're sending here? Is this Charlie Kirk's funeral or is this a MAGA rally?
Yeah.
It's a MAGA rally.
You see the twisting, bro. It's the state twisting to Christ again, you know, and this has been done historically. It happened with the Vatican. It happened with King James and the Crusades. And this is how you get people to move in the name of Christ, but really for the state and the state's agendas. This is an historical lesson, man, and a very exciting time because in one hand, we have people totally falling for it. A lot of Republicans are falling for it, but like I always look for silver lining, brother. And there are people that are turning to Christ. You know, my awakening was in the last 5 years, and but there's no political attachment to it, right? And I'm hoping that while at least the conversation's warm, that we can encourage them that Christ is King, and there's no state in between you and your Creator.
For sure. And I think that the Charlie Kirk situation is being used as he is Christ. It's more of idol worship to me than anything. They're idol worshiping Charlie. They're putting Charlie on the cross. You see this, right? This is an idol worshiping event where people are saying, oh, I found Christ through Charlie. Okay, maybe you did find Christ through Charlie, but why are you worshiping Charlie? Why are you worshiping Trump? Why is Trump coming out with fireworks behind him with Lee Greenwood? That's in what sense does that have to do with Christ at all? You got the guy wheeling his cross around. You got Brandon Lake and these other Christian rock stars singing their songs, and people are on ecstasy, putting their hands in the air. But that's not the definition of what the Holy Spirit is supposed to do in you when you're actually in worship. This is a false dichotomy. This is a way that has been the Protestant movement in America is to create good goyim, is to create good Zionist Christians to pray for Israel, to give their lives to Israel, not to give their lives to Christ. You know, you check in the church, they tell you a TED talk. Hey guys, well, guess what? Jesus, you know, he's kind of like Burger King versus McDonald's. You know, like you like Burger King, but McDonald's got better fries. That's Christ. You know, these are these messages that you go into a Protestant church and they tell you. I've gone to Protestant churches. Like when I go to Father Moses's church, he's directly reading from the Bible. They are singing psalms. They are it's a choir. It's not a rock band with smoke machines, guitars. It's the voice, the voices of angels that were put on this earth to sing. It's Father reading straight from the Bible. It's tradition. There's the beautiful icons all around us. There's pictures of Christ everywhere. When I go into a Protestant church, it's like I walked into the club. It's like I'm off a bean. I'm like at Pasha. You know, it's not giving me it's not giving me that feeling, you know? And like I get it cuz like when I first walked to an Orthodox church and I'm working on it, you know, it's a process. Being an Orthodox is a process. It's not something that just happens overnight. At first you're like, "Whoa, this is idol worship. There's icons, there's saints, there's this, there's that. Oh, we're Mary, we're, you know?" But it's like every single thing from the Orthodox Church comes from tradition, comes from church history, comes from exactly what the apostles did. Okay. The apostles weren't over there with their fog machines going, playing Brandon Lake with their hands in the air. Just wasn't happening. You know, I mean, during the day that the Holy Spirit was given, sure, you know, people went crazy and it was amazing, but it's a different kind of thing. It's a more stoic kind of feeling. And I just feel like there's a fake revival that's happening in America right now.
100%, brother. And let's be clear, guys. You know, we are Christians now. We are speaking about the faith and stuff. We are not here to help you stumble or push you to stumble in any way. We're just trying to refocus the direction and how deceit is happening among all of us. Like Anthony said, even with maybe you were right wing and now you're leaning towards Christ after what happened with Charlie Kirk. What we're saying is to separate it, right? That you should be focusing on your faith and your connection that has nothing to do with government. We all come to Christ in different ways. We different walks of life. I'm a sinner. I will always be a sinner. Anthony's a sinner. He'll always be a sinner. He probably came to Christ in a weird way, like you're coming to Christ in a weird way. I came to Christ through QAnon and the freedom movement and the New York du jour. You know, like so we come in, so we know that this might be the entry door, but remember, it has to evolve where it's you speaking, praying, speaking to Christ, and realizing the more and more that the Holy Spirit will truly convict you, the more and more you'll see that what they're doing right now is foolery. What they're doing is very deceitful and a heresy, in my opinion.
For sure. For sure. I mean, like you said, people come to Christ in different ways. The way I came to Christ is a wild story that I would love to tell real fast if you don't mind.
Let's do it. Story time,
So,
folks.
story time. How I found Christ. So, how I found Christ is when I was younger, I used to be a rapper. I know, cringe. I used to be a rapper and I used to be really good at freestyling. And at the time, I was, you know, selling drugs. I was going to Pasha. I was a little demon kid, you know, hanging out with little demon kids. And we were just running around doing dumb stuff. We were listening to Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne would talk about, oh, I sold my soul to the devil and da da da. And like, we used to just say that as a joke, right? Like, not even like, you know, oh, I sold my soul for fame and fortune, da da da. And it spun the block on me, guys. So the story goes that my friend, his father was the manager of a bar in Nutley, New Jersey. It's called Jim Dandy's. If anybody is in Jersey and listening to this, I'm sure you know where this place is. And he was the manager of a bar, and there was apartment buildings over the bar. And this band, the band was called Theodore Grimm. They moved in to the apartment building. My friend Danny introduced me to the band. We started hanging out at the band's house all the time. They would have like these crazy parties. They were like a hipster, cool, like band, whatever. And they had I'm making a long story short here, but they had a guy move in off of Craigslist, and he told the drummer of the band, he said, "It's crazy, man, but I know this is gonna sound nuts, but I feel a spirit in this house," right? And he drew a picture of the Ganesha, and what that is an elephant god. It's a Hindu elephant god. It's the elephant. It has all the arms. It's supposed to be the god of fortune, okay? And he's a trickster. So I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But the drummer told the guy, he's like, dude, that's crazy. But the guy that used to live next door, he got into a fight with his girl and he punched a hole in the wall when he was fighting with his girl. And inside, he found a burlap sack. And in that burlap sack, there was a wooden carved mask of the Ganesh and of Baphomet. Okay? There were two old wooden carved masks of Ganesh and Baphomet. So my friend tells me the story. I've been a conspiracy theorist since I was in middle school. So I'm like probably 19, 20 years old at the time. And I'm like, I got to meet this guy. So I meet the guy, I walk into his room. The first thing I see in his room is he has all these Egyptian hieroglyphics all over his wall. And I say to him, like, what's that? And at the bottom, he has a rubber snake with all these Egyptian hieroglyphics. So I said to him, what's that? He said, this is a portal. He said, I go into the ethereal realm, I meditate, I astral project, and I go into the ethereal realm. And that's how I saw Ganesha was here. That's how I saw the spirit of Ganesha was here. So I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So we start shooting the shit. He starts telling me his theories. I start telling him my theories. He's the one that actually taught me about reptilian shapeshifters. He's the one that taught me about a bunch of this stuff. And he gives me a book. Now, he gives me this book, and it's not like a sacred book. It's a book you could buy in the store. It's called The Book of Lies. Okay? It's a back door, basically, into the occult. There's a lot of teaching from Aleister Crowley in it, and it's this book or whatever. So I go back to my boy's house, Danny's house, and I start looking through the book. And the first page of the book is a picture of the Baphomet. You know, the picture where like the Baphomet's doing like the hand signal or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The next page is how to bring spirits into your body. Specifically in this, they're talking about invoking the spirit of James Bond. If you want it to be cunning, if you want it to be handsome, and you wanted people to see you as the spirit of James Bond, you could bring the spirit of James Bond into you. The next page is how to sell your soul for fame, for fortune, for whatever, right? So I take the book and I'm like, I start to feel weird. I start to feel possessed, right? I start to feel possessed. So I take the book, I throw it out, and I still feel weird and possessed. And my friend Art shows up, and he's a born again Christian. And he shows up out of smoke at my friend's house. And I start telling him the story. I'm like, yeah, I got this book and whatever. And he's like, man. And I told him I feel like possessed. I feel weird, right? So he's like, man. He's like, what you need to do is you need to talk to Jesus, right? So I was baptized Roman Catholic. I went to CCD. I got kicked out. That's a story for another day. And I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to Jesus, right? He's like, don't say Hail Mary, don't say Our Father, really talk to God. So I look at the crucifix that's on my friend's wall and I say, Jesus, I'm sorry. I don't want any parts of this. I don't want to sell my soul. I don't want to be a part of any of this. And when I tell you, Fuzz, I had goosebumps come over my body that were so strong it made me fall to my knees and tears started to pour out of my eyes, right? And I remember it was a cloudy day outside and the sun came through blaring like so bright and the wind came and it pushed the lamp against the crucifix and I looked like there was a big sunrise over Jesus, right? So I call my brother at the time because my license was suspended. I call my brother. I'm like, yo, come pick me up. Like this crazy experience just happened to me. Da 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 da. So I don't go back to that apartment for months on months on months, right? And go figure, cliche, but they have a party. It's a Halloween party. So my friend calls me. He's like, yo, they're having a huge party. It's going to be, a banger. Come through. So I'm like, all right, I haven't been there in a long time, whatever. Like, let's see what happens. So I go, I knock on the door. The drummer answers the door. He's like, yo, Graf, I ain't seen you in so long. What's up, bro? Like, where you been at? Da da da. And I tell him, I'm like, the guy who moved off of Craigslist, like, he gave me this book and all this weird stuff happened. So I just wanted to keep my distance, da da da. He's like, yo, that guy moved out months ago. He's like, he wasn't working. He never left his room. He just moved out. I was like, well, like, why did he move out? He's like, I don't know, man. I was like, well, did he say anything? He said, yeah, his work here was done. Now you go and find out that that building where the bar was and
Yeah.
the building where the apartments were was an old Masonic hall that the
Wow.
Freemasons used to conjure spirits in. That's why the burlap sack with the wooden masks
They were
were in
from
the
the
wall.
oh wow.
So
Wow.
that's how I found Christ.
That is a powerful testimony, bro. What a wild story. We may have to like use the AI to do this imaging for that. That is just to show that story, man. That's incredible.
I
That's
have
incredible. God
messages
is
from my
so
boy
good, bro.
Art. I have
Huh?
messages from my boy Art, the born again
Yeah.
Christian. That's I'll pull it up real fast. I'll read it. Hold on. It's on my Facebook.
Glory to God, bro. Glory to God. It's incredible.
Here, look.
We might have to do an AI imaging cartoon and while you're telling that, bro. That's incredible. Play
Okay,
that up.
ready? Bro, you remember when they wanted me to join, they sent me the book? I've been bottling all this shit up, so worried. I always think about that. You the one that really put me onto Jesus and saved me. The portal. That was the day that God really entered my heart. God through me, cuz was never me. I know, man, and you just showed up. It was crazy. I always think about it and tell people the story, and people don't believe me all the way. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned into good. They'll see very soon. I remember every word, the picture on Danny's old phone, the book. Yeah, bro, if you think about it, it was the same time Mac Miller came up. It was supposed to be me. I think about it all the time. Look where he ended up. Exactly. So at that time, that's when Mac Miller popped. We know what
So
happened to
I
Mac
think it's
Miller.
something very important what you just said, and I think just overall, in this journey totally that we should definitely apply, which is that even when this dark stuff was happening and God turned it into something positive in your life. What a testimony, bro. What a story. I was seeing it as you were telling it. That's so crazy.
It's wild,
God is
bro.
good, bro. God is
Wild.
good.
I mean, I could have took the other path, you know? I could have
For
easily
sure.
sold my
Sure.
soul and joined the Masons. And I mean, I've been offered in so many ways, so many times. It's not even funny, but I've always denied it because I've always kept Christ in my heart. So I'm not saying, to come back and rebuttal to everything I just said. I'm not saying that maybe you did find Christ through Charlie Kirk, and that's great. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is don't follow the path that Charlie Kirk laid out after the fact that you found Christ, because that will turn you into a right-wing Christian Zionist, because that's what Turning Point USA is. That's what Donald Trump stands for. That's what Stephen Miller is talking about. That's what all these people align with. You might have found Christ in that room, and I'm happy for you. You might think that your church that has, fog machines, and I don't want to disrespect your church. Maybe you have a great pastor. Maybe he's straight out of the book, and maybe that's just the way they do things. But don't get caught in this fake revival that's coming, because the revival will not move off of emotionalism. The revival will be from your good works and from your actual fruit that is shown through your spirit. Just by putting your hands in the air and saying that I worship Christ doesn't mean that you're a Christian. There's other steps that need to be taken to be a Christian. You should be sharing the
Wow.
good news. You should be doing that. And you should be understanding that we do not support anything that the state gives us. That is not Christianity. Christianity does not come from the state. Christianity comes from Christ.
Powerful, bro. Powerful. We and that's the message, guys. There it is. Like sometimes we get caught in the weeds, or we're on this side or that side, and more division. But it's really not. It's just we have to speak the truth. We have to be assertive in that way, where we got to speak truth, but we're also inviting you to the table. And we also don't have the answers. But we're trying to follow the Holy Spirit, where there's no state or right wing views or left wing views coloring our walk with Christ. What he's saying is that there's believers and followers, and there's a difference between believing and following, and that's what he's saying, guys. And the only true way to follow is by your relationship with Christ. It's direct, it's innate, something that's
Amen.
here. So,
Amen.
Powerful, brother. Powerful. You have anything else for us today, brother?
Yeah, I want to pull up the ending of the funeral, which is when Trump and Erica come on the stage together.
Nah. How? How, Sway? How?
So we got Trump doing Chaz Reinhold from Wedding Crashers, the part where he goes to the funeral and he picks up the two chicks and he looks over, he's like, yeah. Trump's like, he's like biting his lip. You saw him bite his lip. Like they're like all up on each other. It's like I made the video yesterday. I'm going to use this reference again, but it's like watching your girl go into the VIP with the drug dealers. It's like, what is going on, dude? If I'm Charlie Kirk, I'm haunting Trump for the rest of his life. Like, I'm going to be like throwing his shit around the room because it's like, you just disrespected me for the whole world. Like, they're like nestling on each other, like, get a room. Like, and this is the crazy thing. It's because Erica won Donald Trump's pageant in 2012. They knew each other already. They already knew each other. They're all groping up on each other because he probably already hit it, to be honest with you.
Reckless. Oh man,
I'ma
I
say
just
what I
don't
say.
understand. Like, you're at a so-called guys. Listen. She did say, I miss him. You know, I seen that. I seen the little lipping. But guys, at the end, right, when she throws that horn up, when she throws up, I don't even want to throw it up. When she does that, it's like you are at a so-called Christian event, bringing Christ into this right wing, this big arena, and then she throws that up. It's like everybody knows what that is. She might as well did the, she might.
Well,
guys,
people are saying
what
it's
is she?
ASL. They're saying they're saying it's I love you. That's what everybody's claiming. But I need to pull this up, right? Is this
Yeah, please do.
because that's what everybody's saying. They're like, oh, actually it means I love you. You're just reaching. Let me ask you guys something. Does this look like I love you? Are they telling you I love you? Is Obama telling you I love you? Is Hillary Clinton telling you I love you? I thought if we're all truthers here and we all, oh no, it's because the thumb is tucked. Well, I don't know. Is their thumb tucked? Is that saying I love you? Or is that the exact same symbol that Erica made? You tell me, Fuzz. What do you see?
Yeah. No, I mean, I got to be honest. That's a very specific thing. I believe that as above, so below. That they're making that reference. Yeah. I mean, listen, we know what it is. We're at a Christian event, so-called Christian event. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so blatant too. So I always question it when it's right in front of us like that. Like, it's on the world stage. So if they're doing it on purpose, so we're talking about it, like I don't. It's lose,
Yeah.
right? They're trying to get
Yeah.
energy out of us, so they're getting
For sure. For sure.
Here
Now
we
I
are.
want to pull up Erica's past because this is the most important part of this whole entire episode. Actually, no, the Christ stuff was the most important part, but this is very important to understand where we are on this timeline of things. Erica Kirk. Erica was a model and a casting director in the early 2000s. Later, Erica ran an evangelical ministry in Romania that contracted with U.S. military and foster children for adoption. This organization was based in the same area in Romania where trafficking is rampant. I'm very proud that we have been able to go international in the past few years. I absolutely love working with the military, so I feel blessed that we can do that on a continual basis through Antonio Placement Center in Constanta, Romania. This organization was one of the many evangelical organizations that were accused by outraged locals of snatching children, only to send them straight into sex and organ trafficking networks in the UK and Israel. Erica met CK in Israel in 18, and that was the first job interview turned into a date. This is her Romanian Angels. Okay? Romania probes Israeli adoption agency link in organ trafficking. Romanian authorities are looking into possible links between Israeli adoption agencies and a legal global conspiracy to sell organs for transplants. Romania trial trafficking town. Dozens of people from Romania, eastern town of Tindari, are to go on trial accused of sending children to UK to steal. Look at this, guys. This is her. This is her life. She was involved in all of this. Okay? Here, look. This is Erica. This is her company. Okay?
So what is she to this company?
She owns it.
She owns the company.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
That's why she's so disingenuous. That's why she was put on the spotlight. And guess what? She's not going away, guys. I will put money on it. You could come back to this podcast and you could say, Grafstradamus, you're right again. My new name, Grafstradamus. She will run for president, for vice president with JD Vance. That's how they will 100% anchor in the win for JD Vance. She will run as his VP. Come back to it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, listen, they're already building the narrative that Trump may step down at some point in this next 3-4 years. So JD Vance gets in place. You see everything's already lined. Now they have a propaganda wheel. Yeah, it's all centralized stuff. Midterms are coming, guys. Midterms are coming. When they come, that's where I think they'll try to sell the real ID. If you don't want illegals to vote, you got to get the real ID. That's the only way to make sure, and that's the centralized ID, guys. That all that centralizes and goes to the social credit score. It goes to these are the semi steps that they're doing. So, if her coming on this stage and then pushing JD Vance, the American people, the Republicans are all behind JD Vance. So, you can kind of see this molding into the direction. So I totally agree, bro.
Yeah, she was put in place. This has been this is what people need to understand. These people are master planners. They have groomed these people since they've been children. You know, Erica got groomed as a child. Her mom, literally, there's a video where she said, "Why did you guys move to Phoenix?" Because her mom was working with the DOD. She's working with Homeland Security. She's working with Rayathon. These people are put in place, man. These are not normal, everyday, average citizens or Christians that are on some virtuous mission. Right. They are plants. Charlie Kirk is a plant. Erica's a plant. They're all plants. And they're all sending us deeper into this surveillance, police state, into the New World Order. And I digress.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there, bro. That's why we got to get closer with God now than ever. And worshiping the state is not the way, man. It's not the way. Brother, this was a great episode, man. Another banger. I appreciate your time. Episode 6, and we're out.